What's going on, everyone? So we officially have the end of an era for the San Antonio Spurs, the Mamu era, right? The San Antonio Spurs have officially lost Mamu, and the Mamu Spurs era has come to an end. So Mamu ended up going to the Toronto Raptors, which I think the writing was on the wall. They got Luke Kornet, right, as the primary backup. Also, I look at, like, what do they do with Bassie? Do they end up going and trading for another guy, right? Bassie could be kind of the third guy. Not just that, but, like, Mamu just never really got the opportunity, in my opinion, with the Spurs. And it's a little disappointing because I had even talked about it earlier this season. He's a guy that, like, when he plays, he impacts the game. He's really good out there, right? Even in limited minutes, limited role, and he really showed some real promise and shines out there on the basketball court. And he's young enough to be a key piece and player and all that. Like, I wish the Spurs would have had utilized him better. I look at guys that have had success on the Spurs in the past that, like a Boris Diaw type. Like, I could see Sandro being that for a Spurs team and just out there, just doing a little bit of everything. Hey, he's kind of that power forward center combo, but I do think that there was a better role and opportunity on the Spurs for him than what he actually got. But hey, this is huge for him going to a team like Toronto, which I do think he's going to get a big role. I do think he's going to get some significant minutes, right? The center, he's not going to start or anything like that because they do have Jakob Poeltl, right? Another Spurs guy, right? It's funny, Toronto and the Spurs have, like, traded Jakob Poeltl back and forth like 10 times, right? Like, they just keep swapping each other back and forth. But obviously they like Spurs centers or Spurs big men. But obviously they're not going to start over Jakob Poeltl. But beyond that, he's probably playing a pretty good, significant role, right? Like, because they don't have a ton. Like, they still have Boucher, right? Chris Boucher, but I probably play Mamu over him. Outside of that, they have a couple, flyer guys, Colin Castleton and stuff. I think Mamu has the potential to be over all of those guys, right? So he signed a 2-year deal. $5.5 million deal, with the second year being an option. But we can kind of go into all the details in that regard. Also, quick noting, Shams did say that Mamu with a large opportunity, Raptors present Mamu with a large opportunity in the front court to break through in the NBA, as he has displayed glimpses, such as the 34-point game in San Antonio, which he did in like 18 minutes or something, or it was 19 minutes. It's like the most points scored in like under 20 minutes or something like that. But Shams reported free agent Sandro Mamu has agreed to a 2-year, $5.5 million deal with the Toronto Raptors, plus a second-year player option, sources tell ESPN. So, again, I think this is a good opportunity for him. I think he gets to go to a team that gives him the potential to play a real role. He has a player option, so if it doesn't work out there, he can kind of just depart. He's a guy that I could see really kind of making a name for himself, right? It's just he's got to get the role and opportunity. It's hard to show what you can do when you're not given the opportunity, right? Or you're inconsistent, right? It's like, oh, you're gonna play 5 minutes tonight. It's like, what am I might, how am I supposed to have an impact to show you what I can do in 5 minutes? Oh, in the next game I'm gonna not play at all. Oh, and then the next game I'm gonna play 3 minutes. Oh, and then this game I'm gonna play 20. Oh, drop 34. Next game, another DMP. It's like, how do you find that commonality? How do you find that wiggle room if you're them? But he's still very young. He just turned 26 years old. So there's still plenty of opportunity for him to carve out a real role in the league. We've seen plenty of players kind of fill in and become, just a good quality vet option in the later years. And I do think he could be that. I think he has the potential to be a guy that can slot in a real role in a rotation for a playoff team or maybe even a contender, something like that. Right? Obviously, he's got to prove it. He's got some work to do, some work cut out for him, but I do think the potential is there. Anyway, also it doesn't help. He's not a true 7-footer. He's 6'9". He is 240. He's got good size for, a 6'9" guy. Where he's not like, 220 or something like that. No, he's a physical, imposing type of player. Good wingspan, all of that. But what does he bring to the basketball court? Well, last year, 61 games played, 0 games started, 11.2 minutes per game. got 4.6 field goal attempts, which is the third most of his career, by the way, and the second most that he's gotten with the San Antonio Spurs. But he shot 50% from the floor, 3-point range on 2.6 attempts, shot 37.3%, right? 2-point range, 67.5% on 2 attempts. EFG of 61%. Free throw shooting. He's also an excellent free throw shooter. He was last year 74.1% on 1 attempt. He averaged 3 rebounds, an assist, half a steal, half a block, and 6.3 points per game. His best season was that first season with the Spurs, in which he averaged 11-7 with 2.5 assists, half a steal, half a block. And he did that in 23.3 minutes per game. That's kind of the type of role that I want to see him play. Right? Give him 20 to 23 minutes a game. Give him that backup, minute role and see what he can do. See what he can accomplish. Right? Like, he's a guy that has, I think, in my opinion, has that potential. He's a guy that come in, slot and play a role. He gave you, like I said, 11 points, 10.8 points and 6.8 rebounds. So he's basically an 11-7 guy in 20 minutes of action. You don't think there's value with that on other teams? And he did it. He averaged that for a season. Right? I think a lot of what Mamu's problem is just the lack of opportunity is what I think it is. But I want to go over his per 36. Now, keep in mind, per 36 doesn't tell you the whole story, right? See some guys that are really good in 20 minutes of action, but as soon as they get that 21st minute, that's it. They just become, a dumpster fire. So it doesn't tell you the whole story, but it kind of gives you an idea. Like, what would he look like if he was to get, expanded, maybe even starting level role? Last year, he would have been 20.4 points, 10 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and a full block per game. The guy would have been an all-star, right? And you look at his per 36, essentially for his career, he's that. For his career, his per 36, 10 rebound, 3 assists, a steal, a block, and 16.2 points per game. That's just per 36. He's a guy that, again, I really hope gets a fair shake in Toronto. I think he gets a real opportunity. I think the other backup bigs, I think he has a real chance to overtake. Right? Like, I just think he provides that skill set. He can slot in that small ball role, stretch the floor, make some plays, right? One of the big values of him, in my opinion, is his ability to be kind of that swing man at the center position or even the power forward spot. You can slot him and kind of run the double big thing, right? You could throw a Yaka Pirtle out there and have Mamu slotted in alongside of him because of his ability to stretch down the floor and do it with consistency, right? And knock it down at an efficient clip. Now, and we've seen the potential for that explosiveness. We've seen the potential of, like, hey, on any given night, he could go get you 30 if given the opportunity. But it's just like, he does that, and then you didn't reward him after. That's my problem. It's like, what are we doing? Especially at the time, it's like that would have been the best time to reward him and see what he could have done, see what he could do, right? Because you lose Wemby and all this other. It's just, Spurs obviously have a plan, right? I think Mamu departing and not being a part of I think that writing was on the wall. I think we all kind of knew and expected that was going to happen, especially when they got Luke Kornet, which I just think for the Spurs, Luke Kornet makes more sense. Right? He's a true 7-footer. Real primary backup. I mean, he's made a career out of being a backup. A guy that can just really slot in, play a role for them nicely. Signed him to 4 years. He's a guy you can even play and slot alongside Victor Wembanyama. Excellent offensive rebounder. Just kind of gives you everything that the Spurs were really looking for. Where I think Mamu, when that signing happened, he's probably on his way out. See what they end up doing with guys like Bassi, so on and so forth. But again, fingers crossed. I'm rooting for him to have some success in Toronto because I think there's potential and opportunity there. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.